Well, that was completely out of nowhere. I'm just sitting here playing some Call of Duty Zombies, and the New York Rangers just made a trade. The New York Rangers have acquired Ryan Reaves. I fucking love this signing. I love this signing for more reasons than one. Obviously, the whole Tom Wilson situation. Obviously, on opening night, the Rangers play the Capitals, so that is something that I do love. But there's way more to the signing than just that, and that's not what I want the narrative to be, because I am tired of seeing on Twitter the narrative Tom Wilson changed the Rangers franchise. I said it here on this channel, and I believe it was in the Buchnevich video. I don't remember which video it was in. That ultimately, I believe that the Wilson situation is going to end up being a blessing in disguise. If you want to say Wilson changed the entire Rangers franchise and every move's been based on Tom Wilson, go ahead and say that all you want, but it gave the Rangers a chance to look in the mirror and realize this is what they needed to address, and this is what they needed to do to become a legit contending team. And I'm not saying here Ryan Reaves is the missing piece of the contending team, but he's just part of what contending teams need. You look at what he did on Vegas with Gallant, by the way, as a coach. So he's reunited with his old coach, Gallant, where he really thrived under out of any coach that he played under. And Ryan Reaves is just a great player to have in your bottom six. In the season that Gallant was there, in his in the 18-19 season where Gallant was there, he had 20 points, which was a career high in a season. So he really thrives under Gallant, like I mentioned, and this is just a huge deal for numerous reasons. Not only because of the Tom Wilson situation, like I said, but just any time. Not only is he good depth, but he might be in the everyday lineup because of the style of game he plays. And there is a chance that Kevin Rooney gets pushed out of the lineup, because in my video earlier, I had Rooney slotting in on that fourth line center with Barclay Goodrow on the wing, but I would move maybe Barclay Goodrow to center, and then you have Ryan Reaves on that wing. You could go a couple of different ways with this now, but you need all these pieces to connect to build a winning team. You need a combination of grit, high defensive ability, high skill, and an elite goaltender. That's obviously what it takes to win. That look at every single team that wins. That's how they do it. It's just watching hockey. And if you watch the playoffs, you know that this is what winning teams do. They build up the bottom six along with having skill in their top six. And the Rangers have done that this offseason. As much as people don't love the Buchnevich trade, it improved our bottom six, and our top six now is still filled with skillful players. It's just a matter of when they're going to develop. And I just saw a tweet from Blue York, the Broadway Bullies. We are going to be just, teams are going to fucking shit themselves over us now. And I love it. I love it. You now have, if this is what I imagine on opening night, just because you look at the whole Tom Wilson situation, and I imagine that the Rangers are going to hunt the fuck out of him on opening night, despite me saying that the narrative shouldn't be that. It also does have a play into it, because you want to get revenge on a guy that absolutely ragdolled the shit out of your superstar. Is Ryan Reaves, Barclay Goodrow, Sammy Blais, Jared Tenorti might slot into the lineup opening night. Niels Lundqvist we'll play you next game. You could take the flight to New York. We'll see you when we play Dallas the next day. But Patty Nemeth, Jacob Trouba, Ryan Lindgren, Tom Wilson is going to get his shit rocked on opening night. And personally, I'm here for it. Because I'm still pissed, obviously, about that situation for multiple reasons. But the Rangers are now building a team that is going to be difficult to play against. They are going to wear the fuck out of their opposing teams. They have a legit fourth line that could just get in your face and annoy the fuck out of you. And that is something that the Rangers have not had since, you could honestly say, since the John Tortorella days, because you did have guys like Tanner Glass involved, and they tried with Dylan McElrath being involved, but they haven't really had a staple fourth line that gets in your face and is a pain in the ass to play against since 2012. And that 2012 team, you know what that 2012 team did? Yeah, that's right. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals that year and had a pretty good chance of winning the cup. But they haven't had a fourth line like that in just such a long time. And it's just going to be fun to watch, and not only fun to watch, but it's also going to help the Rangers win some games. And I mentioned it before, you're getting skill out of guys like Barclay Goodrow still, and Sammy Blais still has some offensive upside. You're still getting some offensive upside out of these guys, but I love this. I love it. Ryan Reaves, you're really not getting a lot of offensive upside from, but still, is he going to be just a fucking unit out there, and is he gonna just rock the shit out of anyone? I fucking love this. I love this for so many reasons. There are so many reasons why I love this trade, because they did end up trading for him, and the trade was, I believe, just a third round pick for next year. Yeah, third round pick, which it's just magic beans. So who knows what the third round pick will be anything useful. And if Vegas does draft someone good with that third round pick, I don't want to hear that, oh, the Rangers could have had this guy instead of Ryan Reaves. It's not necessarily how it works. They weren't going to necessarily draft the guy that gets drafted at that position, but he's making $1.75 million for next year only. And the Rangers still have $13 million cap space, which, by the way, we can mention because it ended up happening. Chytil signed an extension at $2.3 million for the next 2 seasons. I don't like the 2 seasons just because we saw what happened now with Buchnevich after giving him 2 seasons. But I still believe Chytil's possibly part of an Eichel trade, so we'll wait to see on that. But I'm a fan of the signing. I thought he was going to take $2.5 million up of the cap, so he is a little bit south of that, so I'm perfectly okay with it. He's right in the ballpark. That's what I ended up tweeting earlier. And then you have $13.6 million in cap space. Igor Shesterkin's not going to take that much up. I'd imagine he's in I think I saw a report that he's going to be in the $6 to $7 million ballpark, which hopefully that's long term then, because I originally had him 5 years for 2 years on a bridge. So hopefully the 6 or 7 is a long term. And other than that, you do have still, if you do want to go out and get Jack Eichel, you still have Ryan Strome, who you can move. Chytil might be part of the package. You have about $7 million in cap space there, and you're still going to have cap space already going in the next season. This move, oh, I love this move. I love this move so much. I love this move so much. And I have really loved this Rangers offseason. The more that I'm letting it settle in, and I'm fired up. I'm fired up for this next season. And who knows how much more fired up I'm going to be if we do end up landing Jack Eichel, depending on the return, of course, in that trade. But I mean, hey, if they do give up something like Jones, a first, and you got the idea. Like Jones, a first, Chytil or Strome, or maybe even both of them, Georgiev, whoever the hell is in the deal, as long as they don't give up like Kravtsov, Lafreniere, Kakko, obviously, like, I'm fine with them giving up Schneider. Niels Lundqvist, I'd like them to stay away from, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it at this point. I mean, I'm pumped though. I'm pumped about this deal. Ryan Reaves, welcome to New York, and thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. And that's in Python. I'm out. Peace.